Hi there, this is David, and there was a Nintendo Direct last week that I missed out on. I was out of the country and I couldn't really talk about it. I didn't make a short about it, but now I am here to go in depth upon it and just talk about all of the new great RPG announcements. And we're just going to go through this Direct, and it was a long one, in order. We have about 12 different things to talk about here. So let's start with the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC that is new. There is a new hero being introduced here. There's also some challenge battles being introduced here. Basically, you choose one character, and then they go through and they fight like a whole set of battles. And if you do so, you're able to earn more and more and more heroes. And then they have a teaser here for the Volume 4 DLC that is coming out. I myself, personally, am not really the biggest fan of DLC. Normally, I'm kind of old school like that. Like, I play a game, and once I finish the game, I finish the game. You know what I mean? So I don't really do a lot of DLC, but I know that some of y'all out there do, so I figured that I would bring it up to you. You can get this on February the 15th, so just in a couple of days, this is releasing. Next up is Deca Police. This is a new one from, guess who? Level 5. Hell yeah, Level 5 is back. We don't have a release date on this, but it is coming out sometime this year. This is one of, I want to say, 3 different Level 5 announcements. I came to y'all a week or 2 or so ago, and I was like, hey, guess what? Level 5 is back, and some of you in the comments doubted me, and you were like, it's just a job listing. You can't say anything from just a job listing. Well, guess what, bitch? They're here! Hell yeah, they're here. So we got turn-based battle system, we have a world to explore, we have parties, you can kind of gather clues and solve mysteries and solve police cases and all that kind of stuff. This looks pretty rad to me. And of the Level 5 games, I am pretty excited about this one, but there's another Level 5 game that I'm a little tiny bit more excited about, and we will get to that later on in this video. Next up, we have Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. Full disclosure, I've never played a single solitary Bayonetta game in my entire life. It just never really seemed like anything that was kind of up my alley. But whenever I saw this, I was like, that's kind of cool. It almost reminded me of Okami in this kind of storybook telling way. It just looks really sweet. It looks really nice. You can see what I'm talking about here in the trailer that I'm showing you. So basically, you play as a young Bayonetta, and she's more of an enchantress. She's able to control enemies, freeze them, mesmerize them, stop them, whereas the demon Cheshire is uncontrollable, but he is your attacker. So you're essentially kind of controlling the battlefield as Bayonetta, whereas the demon is going around and, doing all the battling for you. This is coming out on March 17th, and it looks pretty damn sweet if I do say so myself. Ugly dokes, we have more DLC! Yay! Okay, this is DLC for Fire Emblem Engage, but didn't Fire Emblem Engage just come out? Wasn't it just released a month ago? I feel like this game literally just came out and there's already DLC for it? That's kind of shitty as far as I'm concerned. This to me screams of, hey, we planned all this DLC during development, but we're cutting it out in order to force it to become DLC so that you can pay more for it. And I think that's crap. And whereas Xenoblade Chronicles was a huge game, and their DLC is coming out months after release, this is okay, we released your game 2 days ago, here's a whole bunch of DLC, please buy, and that's bobo. So, do not support. Hey, it's Octopath Traveler 2. The first game was the system seller for the Switch for me, and all of y'all saw my my demo review, my first impressions of the game. I just put that video out. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it and like it and comment. Thank you. Anyway, in the demo, you're able to play the first 3 hours, and you can choose whichever character you want to. If you want to, you can play the first 3 hours of every single character, you know what I mean? And the save data actually carries over to the final game, which is going to be releasing on February the 24th. 24th, and I went and I actually bought the collector's edition. So you know that if I'm gonna drop $200 on a game for the collector's edition, that it's gotta be good, and oh man, this is a good one. For those of you unaware, another demo has dropped, and that is the demo for Sea of Stars. We've heard a lot about Sea of Stars for a very long time now. I've been waiting impatiently for this game, but the demo has dropped, and I have made my thoughts clear on that demo. So, similar to the Octopath Traveler 2 video, if you haven't watched my demo impressions video of Sea of Stars, please do. Click on over, watch it, like it, comment it. Yay! Thank you. Anyway, I think that it's going to be a great game. I think it's shaping up to be a great game. There are some issues with it, which I did make very clear in my review, and they have until August the 29th to fix those issues, and hopefully they do, because, oh man, if they do, whew, Square Enix should be shaking in their boots. This is the type of game that I want to see from Square. This is the type of stuff that we should be getting from them, because this is just looking fantastic. There's an Etrian Odyssey Origins collection. This is the first 3 games all packaged together, sold as a collection, and upgraded into HD for the Nintendo Switch. We don't know if we're going to get a physical edition yet, so fingers crossed that this one becomes physical. We also don't know if it's like the actual first game, or if it's like that Millennium Girl first game, so we don't know that yet, or at least I don't know that yet. Let me know in the comments. But I had a great time with these, and normally roguelikes and things like that aren't exactly my cup of tea, but this one featured auto mapping, which is a huge plus for me. It also had a ton of classes, and it wasn't just like your stereotypical JRPG classes. It was just like a lot of weird classes, and a lot of classes that you would find in more Western RPGs. There's also 3 different difficulty options, so if it was a little bit on the harder side for you the first time around, it'll be easier this time around. It's coming out June 1st. You can buy it together as a collection, or they're also sold separately on the eShop too. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp finally has a release date. This thing was supposed to release like last year, and it was delayed because of the war in Ukraine, even though like every single game on the face of the planet features a war, but for whatever reason this war was too much. I don't know. It's coming out April 21st. It is a repackaging of some of the best strategy RPGs on the original Game Boy Advance. Everything is there, redone in HD. Hell yeah! Speaking of a big hell yeah, Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 together! Released as an HD collection and physically! Woohoo! Okay, so if you don't know what this game is, I'm actually going to put together a video talking about what Baten Kaitos is, because I've played both of them and I loved both of them. Unfortunately, the English voice acting is going to be removed and it's just going to be Japanese voice acting, but honestly, the voice acting in the original games kind of sucked. But these are great games. I loved them. They have a card-based battle system, which is normally something that I'm not a fan of because it's a bit much, but I think that they did it right, especially in the second game. This is coming out this summer. We don't have a definitive release date yet, but oh man, this is one of my most hotly anticipated games already. I cannot say enough good things about the first game, especially the story. Like the plot twists of the story was just epic. Epic plot twist. This is made by Monolith Soft, the same people who did Xenoblade as well. Earlier, I was gushing about level 5, and I was like, hell yeah, level 5 is back, but I was like, hey, there's something that I'm a little bit more excited about. That's what this is. Fantasy Life, the girl who steals time. Hell yeah. Loved the first Fantasy Life on the 3DS. Now we're back with the console experience where you can go back in time. You can go to the past or the present, and you can also swap still between different roles and different job classes. And the job classes aren't just like, warrior, fighter, paladin, although those are there, but it's also like fisherman and farmer and wood chopper, chef. Like, the roles are just kind of weird. You can be whatever you want to be in Fantasy Life, and I really like that about that. Level 5 is back with a vengeance. This is coming out this year. We don't have a release date yet, but be on the lookout for it, because I, for one, I love this. And more level 5, we have a new Professor Layton game. We know absolutely nothing about it besides the title. It's Professor Layton New World of Steam. Like, literally, the trailer for it is like 10 seconds. Like, that's it. Like, that's literally it. It's a little tiny nothing burger of a trailer, but hey, at least we know we're getting a new Professor Layton. Although, I never really was much into the Professor Layton series or like the Ace Attorney series. They're just not really my cup of tea, but I am happy to see that, like, it's not like level 5 just dipping their little finger into the pool of the West. Level 5 is all in. They are coming in, they are releasing games, and I am all about it. Let's get a new Ni no Kuni too. And finally, we can't have a Nintendo Direct without talking about Zelda. Breath of the Wild sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, is here, and it is coming out. And I'm just gonna come out and say it. I am a big Zelda fan as far as older Zeldas, as far as 2D Zeldas, like Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, Link's Awakening, Links to the Past, Minish Cap, Link Between Worlds. Like, those are my favorite Zelda games. Whenever we get into the 3D Zeldas, I'm like, Not a fan of Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword, wasn't even a fan of, I know, cover your ears, Breath of the Wild, wasn't really the biggest fan of it. It was too open worldy, there wasn't a lot of music, it was more like atmospheric noises, and then the weapons broke all the time, so yeah. So I don't know if I want to spend $70 on just the game, but in a weird twist of fate, I want the collector's edition, so I want to spend like even more than $70 on this. Like, it's Zelda, and there's a really cool collector's edition, and I want it. But can I get my hands on it? No, I can't. Of course not. God frickin' forbid I can buy. Yeah, this is ridiculous about these collector's editions. This is like the Pixel Remaster with Final Fantasy thing all over again. They put these things out for the fans, but the fans can't get a hold of them because the scalpers get a hold of them, and it's just ridiculous. And it shouldn't be this hard to get my hands on some games. I want to give it a shot. I want to give it a chance. That's just me. Anyway, let me know what you liked most about the Nintendo Direct. Let me know if I skipped anything or if I missed anything. Let me know if you have any comments on anything that I said. And as always, have a good day.